Hey guys, Scott here. This is Movement Tuesday. So in this video, we're going to be discussing a little bit about how to work your shoulder area. So your upper body, more specifically your anterior and your medial deltoids, a little bit of your lats, and even some of your rhomboid muscles as well. So in this video, we're going to cover 3 basic movements, things that I think you can incorporate into your home routine, into the routine at your gym, but they don't necessarily need dumbbells necessarily, but you can use books, you can use cans of food at home, some sort of weight that you can grip onto with your hands. For this example, I'm going to use these handy dandy dumbbells here. So the first movement we're going to be covering are front raises and lateral raises. So basically, when you do these lifts, try not to overcompensate the weight. So generally, if you're able to curl, say 30, 40 pounds, chances are you're probably not going to be able to do that same weight on the lateral and the front raises. So starting off, we're going to go ahead and cover the lateral raises. So the trick here is go ahead and grab your dumbbells or whatever you're using as weights. Go ahead and relax. Your feet are going to be shoulder width apart. So as you're standing here, I kind of want to let you go ahead and relax into those knees. Have a slight bend. Try not to hyperextend your knees back as you're doing this movement. We want to create enough blood flow into basically into your legs so that you don't pass out. We want to make sure there's oxygen getting to your muscles. So go ahead, loosen up those knees a little bit, and as you're kind of in this partial squat, very, very partial, go ahead and I want you to extend your arms up laterally to your sides. Now I don't want your palms up, I want them down, so try to maintain this position and try not to bounce. So really the trick here is when you're doing this workout, if the weight is too heavy, chances are what you're going to try to do to get the weight up is you're going to try to jerk underneath it. So when you get to this point, you're going to pop under it and you're going to say that's a rep. We really want to avoid that because that reduces the effectiveness of the actual movement. So what you want to do is pull the weight back down, start light, work on your form, get the effectiveness up, and optimize the movement rather than jerk under it. We're not doing a dynamic movement. We're not doing any types of jerks. This is strictly a static movement. So as your knees are slightly bended, go ahead and up and down. Now your arms don't have to necessarily be locked fully straight, fully extended. They can have a slight bend to them, but just maintain that same angle of your elbows as you're coming up. And like I said, the minute you start finding yourself jerking under the weight just to get the weight up, that rep has your effectiveness is greatly reduced. So as you're doing this, what this is going to work is a lot of your anterior and your medial deltoids. So the big shoulder blade muscles, those shoulder pad muscles that you see a lot of bodybuilders with, those big old humps on their shoulders. So as you're lifting up, go ahead and do a few of these. So this movement is extremely effective in building those delts. If you'd like to make it a little bit more challenging, maybe more emphasize a little bit more on your rhomboids, what you can do is kind of a rear lateral raise. So what you're going to do is instead of standing straight up, and that's another thing to note, when you're doing these lateral raises, don't lean forward or back as you're doing this. I want you to be straight up and down. And if you're struggling doing that, find a wall or something that you can find yourself up against and make sure you're flat against that wall as you go up and down on those concentric and eccentric movements. So one thing you can do for focusing a little bit more on your rhomboids is a rear lateral raise. So again, knees slightly bent, and go ahead and lean slightly forward, but don't let your shoulders drop. Don't curl into an arch. I want you to keep those shoulders back, big chest, find a focal point, and the same thing applies. You're going to bring the dumbbells slightly in front of you with your elbows slightly bent, just maintain that angle. Same thing applies. I don't want you to jerk under the weight. Maintain this nice position, and this is going to centralize a little bit more of your back muscle. It's going to centralize that middle muscle that's called your rhomboid, and it's also going to centralize on those delts, the anterior and the medial. So you can go ahead, do a few of those, Great things to incorporate into your workouts. So that would be the lateral raise. Another modification, or another type of movement, if you will, is a front raise. So it's the same concept, same things apply, same rules as the lateral raises do. Instead, what you're going to be doing is going forward. You're going to be doing a front raise. So dumbbells comfortably at your sides, feet shoulder width apart. Keep those knees slightly bent so you're getting that blood flow and that oxygen to your muscles. Now as you go, remember with this back, I want you to act as if you're sliding down a wall and your back is nice and straight, your shoulders are back, big chest, find a focal point and go up to about the distance, or if you were to, don't go above your shoulders and don't go below your shoulders. Just go to a comfortable position here so you get that nice parallel 90 degree with your body and your arm. So as you go up and go down. And maintain that breathing. This isn't a dynamic movement or any kind of movement that you need to hold your breath. So make sure you're breathing. Don't try to hold your breath through a set of 10. You'll probably black out if you do that, so don't do that. So as you're going up, again, same thing applies with the lateral as does the front. Don't jerk underneath that weight. So as you're sliding down here, don't try to catch the weight underneath it. We're not doing a dynamic movement or a dynamic jerk. This is simply centralizing and focusing on one specific or a few specific muscles, which are your delts and even a little bit of your traps and your rhomboids. So, and your core, technically. Your core should be tight throughout all of these movements. So as you're going up, control the movement down, control that concentric and eccentric movements. So the up and down movements is what those are. And so that is a front raise. So that's a great combination. You'll see a lot of people do lateral raises mixed with front raises, kind of like a superset almost, if you will. So it's either up to you. You can do whichever you'd like with your programming. I recommend those two, definitely strong movements that you should be doing in your workouts. Very effective if done correctly. And so that's it for today. I'm not going to cover any more workouts. There's obviously a lot more workouts that you can do for your shoulders, but these are just two very important things that I think you really need to be incorporating into your movements. And I hope this video helps. So if you haven't yet, go ahead and subscribe to my channel below. There'll be a link in the description of the video. Go ahead and click on that. It'll take you to my homepage. And go ahead and hit subscribe. And we'll see you in the next video. All right, bye-bye.